Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a quick little video giving my thoughts post Comic-Con 2014 Walking Dead Season 5 trailer release on the direction they're going with Gareth, him allowing, seemingly from the trailer, Rick's group to go to Washington with them. Alright, so out of all the video suggestions I've received so far, and please keep sending them to me if you guys have any others, please go ahead and write them below in the comments so that I can get some more ideas for some more videos to do after seeing the trailer. So if you haven't seen the trailer yet, I'll put the link in the description. Definitely check it out if you missed it before you watch this video. But basically, from the trailer, it's pretty easy to conclude that Gareth must, in some way, shape, or form, allow Rick's group to go, basically. Now, is it possible that maybe a zombie herd comes through or something and that interrupts their process of what they were doing with Rick's group? I mean, it doesn't, based on the trailer, it doesn't look like it, because then afterwards you see Gareth, and he is wearing different clothes. It's at night, he's wearing like a leather jacket, and then he basically is letting them know they don't have a choice and that they're going to be going to Washington all together, basically. So it seems like they're going to talk Gareth into going to Washington with them, taking a shot at it, seeing what will happen, and just going from there rather than him just killing them like they normally do and eating them. So this is a tough one for me. How I feel about it. It's definitely a lot different from what they did in the comic book series, and this is a good discussion topic. So write in the comments below what you think about this one and what you think about the direction they're going with Gareth. Upon first thoughts of this, I don't really think it makes sense. I don't think that someone like Gareth, who's that crazy, would allow them to go and would allow them to kind of head to Washington, D.C. However, I will say this. It's not like the zombie apocalypse just began. Gareth has created a pretty good-sized group at Terminus with a good amount of members. What they're doing is basically surviving. That's all they're really doing. They're survival. They're in survival mode to the extent where they're relying on survivors to come to them, to kill them, to eat them for food, basically discussing cannibalism. But that's what they're doing. So they're just surviving. So does it make sense then that, given the opportunity, and he's probably done this to a lot of different characters throughout the show, a lot of different people in the zombie apocalypse up to this point, because he's got it down to a system, and I think we can assume they've probably done this to more than 100 people or so, based on the amount of survivors there are at Terminus, and how sort of to the point they have everything where they have like locations set up and maps, and they're broadcasting all this signals and stuff to get people to come there. Does it make sense then that, given the opportunity to, do something like this, that Gareth could be coaxed into it? Well, it seems first off he's crazy. I think that's easy. That's easy to see. Cannibalism, even if you're totally out of food, you're totally starving. To go that route, you got to be kind of nuts anyway, right? In addition to that, he's got the religious, cultural, or not cultural, but cult-like stuff around, the writing on the wall, stuff like that we've seen at the end of Season 4. In the trailer, you could see him. He's got a book. It looks like he's writing down something in the book. I don't know something he'd be asking them. I'm sure we'll see in the premiere. And kind of, he's got that kind of ritualistic side to him from what we can tell. But it doesn't really look like there's much of a purpose to what he's doing aside from just surviving. Now, the thing is that a lot of people would think of it like this. If you're going to take Rick's group to that point where you're about to kill them, you're about to saw them up or whatever the hell they're going to do, bash their heads in with baseball bats or whatever, if you get to that point, would you, as Gareth, allow yourself to just turn and say, okay, I guess we'll do this. I'll think about it for a bit. And yeah, okay, we'll all join up together. Don't try anything funny. Don't try anything stupid. And then go. Okay. Normally I would say no, but to put myself in the character's shoes, I think it does make sense that he may, because it's not like he's just, meeting these characters like this, and this is, sort of like they meet on a bad start, like on the wrong foot. It's not like that with Rick's group. To him, this is how he probably meets everybody. This is probably how he meets everyone. Probably some of the people that are members of Terminus at some point in time may have been on the chopping block, right? When they first came there with their group. Maybe Gareth, is kind of finding out what they know, finding out how useful these characters are, and then if they're useful enough, allowing them to join the Terminus group, essentially, because his group is pretty big. So I assume it must have grown in size since they started doing this, not have been big at first, and then afterwards. They just started doing this all of a sudden with a crazy idea, and groupthink just came up with this idea to set up this thing called Terminus. I would think that he's taking, some of the people who are useful, who have skills, he would allow them to join, I would think, the Terminus group, if he feels he can control them. So maybe it is logical then that if this is what he's been doing all the time, and he meets everybody this way, it's not like he just meets Rick's group this way. It probably goes down kind of like this with basically everyone. Once they find out what they're doing and everything like that, and they start to get to know what's going on at Terminus, is it possible that he would see how useful Eugene is and the others and decide, I've got a chance here to save the world. I've got a chance here to do something. It sounds kind of out there, kind of dreamy, kind of, too good to be true. Would he buy it? Would he go for it? I don't know. It's a tough one to say. Is it within character? Well, we're kind of just meeting Gareth. So even though at first I'd say I don't know if that makes sense, maybe it's just that I'm not used to the idea of them doing that, or the idea of a character like him doing it. But he's nuts. So, when people like that are crazy, you can't really read what they're going to do. Depending on their state, depending on, whatever's going on in their brains, just nutty people, they do all kinds of different things. So with him, we haven't seen the episode yet. We haven't seen where they actually go ahead and do it, and how convincing maybe Abraham's speech and Bob's speech is there. But maybe if Gareth tests them and he kind of hears what they all have to say, threatens them, intimidates them to tell the truth, and they stick to it, maybe he will feel like at that point they are telling the truth, and that he has an opportunity there to actually have a purpose, whereas so far he hasn't. So, at first I was like, I didn't like it at all, but the more I think about it, the more I kind of reason it out in my mind, I don't think anything is out of character for a crazy person like that. Somebody who's totally nuts, nothing is really out of character, or you can't really not expect to see random with them. People like that, you can't say one thing is out of character versus another, because they're all over the place. The things they do, it's impossible to predict, and it's impossible to say because they're just nutty, right? And Gareth seems to be one of those type of people that, he's nuts. So who knows what he's going to do? So my thoughts on him joining the group. I think it's within character based on the fact that his character is, a crazy control freak leader that probably meets everybody this way. Figures he's getting the truth out of them because he's probably threatening them with their own death, and maybe even torturing. I guess we'll have to see what happens. And I guess after a little while, and I let it sink in, I do kind of like it. I think it's an interesting direction, because what else would happen? What else could they do? All they could really do is have Rick's group, try to blow up the place, or somebody come and rescue them, or something like that. Which I don't know if that really makes sense, in this state at this time. So I guess maybe Gareth thinks he's got them, thinks he can control them, and thinks that this is what they're going to do. So it sounds exciting, and I'm excited to see when Rick doesn't forgive him for the things he's done, turns on him in that struggle for leadership, because Gareth initially will probably be the leader of that group, and hopefully we see some kind of hunter type mix as a part of that, which is what I would like to see, where maybe if Rick or the group kills a bunch of people from the Terminus group, the rest start chasing them or something like that, and we see some kind of hunter type situation where Gareth wants revenge. So that's what I'm hoping that's what I'm hoping will happen. That's what I'm kind of predicting. I think they're going that kind of route. So overall, I do like it. Those are my thoughts on the Gareth kind of joining the group, so to speak, or them joining the mission together. And I don't think it's totally with outside of character, and I don't think it doesn't make sense for a nutty guy like Gareth, People like that just do all kinds of different things, even in the real world. Who knows what the hell they're going to do, nutty people like that. So let me know what you guys think about all that. Let me know how you feel about it. If you just don't like it, feel free to write it below if you're like, it just doesn't make sense to me. He's a bad guy, he's a villain. Why would he want to help people, this kind of thing? I hear it. I hear you. I feel you. So write that in the comments below. Let's discuss it, guys. If you like the video, please thumb it up below, like it. And if you want to help support the channel, please share it, favorite it. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. Trev saying peace.